Being naive will get you used. Being naive will get you killed. Being naive will get you passed up on opportunities. Being naive will cost you your relationship with yourself. Hey, Pretty Girl Club, welcome back to Cleopatra, where we tackle everything pretty girl logic. And today I felt compelled to talk about being naive. So, if we look at the definition of being naive, it's essentially lacking in experience, wisdom, and judgment. And most people rely on you as a woman, especially as a beautiful woman, to be naive. And being beautiful, like I said, it's currency. Now, being beautiful and naive, that is a whole other level. You are setting yourself up to be scammed. You are setting yourself up to be destroyed. Because imagine a rich person who is naive. That is a deadly combo. That is a scammer's dream. Okay, so when you're naive, you tend to lack discernment for the most part, and it makes you a soft target, especially to energy vampires, manipulators, murderers, predators of any kind. I'm telling you, most naive people hardly make it out alive, and if they do, they're often miserable. They're miserable. So the world doesn't really reward softness without discernment. It consumes it. It misuses it. And when you are naive, you essentially become too much of a giver. You can become a doormat. And it can also put you in the way of danger because you're too trusting of other people. You trust other people more than you trust yourself. And on top of that, when you're naive, you tend to have delayed discernment. I'll say that the spirit of discernment is one of the most rewarding gifts to have and to nurture, because it will literally save you from so much. Because when you do not have discernment, or if you do have delayed discernment, you tend to overlook red flags. You tend to have repeated betrayals. Have you ever looked back in your life and thought to yourself that you should have known better or you should have known sooner? It is such thoughts that make you lose trust in yourself day by day, step by step, betrayal after betrayal. Okay, so you also tend to be confused because you're going to ask yourself, I've been nice to this person. Why would they do this to me? You keep having repeated questions and you keep overanalyzing events, trying to look for answers. And the answer is that you didn't side-eye them sooner. You did not suspect them sooner because you trusted them more than you trust yourself. And with that, you get to have constant guilt and shame. And honestly, guilt and shame are the most low vibrational emotions. They are the worst kind of emotions to have, especially if it's self-inflicted. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this with a lot of love and grace. You should not be hard on yourself. You didn't know better at that moment, but you have a chance to cultivate the gift of discernment and grow from the situations. You shouldn't let those situations define you, but you should use those situations to learn. Okay, you're going to find that people are going to take advantage of your ignorance or your naivety to get ahead or to destroy you. But what I'm trying to get at is that you don't need to be hard and cold. You can still be soft and warm, but still watchful. I am an example of this. I had no idea. Every day I learn something new about myself. I'm very soft spoken. I am very gentle and warm. I'm very approachable. But then at the same time, I am very discerning. I will act like I didn't see you do it or say it, but I clocked that shit. And I've said this in my previous video that I tend to watch people try and play in my face, but then at the same time, I choose to keep record of whatever they did or what they said to tell myself that this is not acceptable. And by default, I find myself distancing myself from them. And another thing is that once you start cultivating the gift of discernment, you start to have dreams. And I am a dreamer. I tend to have dreams, especially when I'm going to go through good or bad things. I dream a lot. And I trust my dreams. And this trust in my dreams comes from the fact that I have a solid trust in myself. I will listen to my emotions, to my body, and I'll tell myself that was not okay. That was not acceptable. I am not going to tolerate this anymore. This person should be cut off. This goes against what I believe in. And being naive is going to make you very judgmental towards people who are very proactive in their life, people who are very strict about their boundaries. If you do not know if you're naive, there's a high chance that you are, because being naive also equates to a lack of self-awareness. You need to know your strengths, your weaknesses. You also need to have a strong understanding of self for you to even be able to cultivate discernment, because you also hold yourself accountable for the shit that you put other people through, for the shit that you put yourself through. You need to learn how to point a finger and say, this is something I will not do again in my life. This is something I will not let he or she do to me or anyone else that I care about. So let me know what you think. You can share your story times at cleopatrick333@gmail.com, or you can also share your experiences in the comment section down below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Stay hot, stay fabulous, stay Cleopatrick.